Hello everyone, Joe here from Snake Draft FPL, and welcome to a weekly series helping you find some good value free agents and waiver pickups in Draft FPL. Looking forward to game week 11, we have picked out a couple of players in each position with good fixtures that you could realistically pick up in your draft league. If you find this useful, please do hit the subscribe button and like the video, as it really does help us grow the channel. I'm joined today by Dave from the Snake Draft League, who is at DFFDave FPL on Twitter, who's going to talk through some of the picks with me. One thing before we start, we did have a few internet issues this week, so if there's any strange audio, I do apologise. Without any further ado, let's get stuck into the first pick. Okay then, I'm joined today by Dave from the Snake Draft League. And to start with, we're going to talk about goalkeeper picks. Dave, who are you interested in this week?
I think Sanchez for Brighton was not a bad pickup for a 1 week pickup. If he's not available already, I mean, they've got Newcastle at home next. Newcastle, even if they do manage to get that, because they are decent attacking, but they're not terrible defensively. He can rack up some save points as well. Save points, bonus points. If you get a clean sheet, he's going to get your cut of bonus points.
Yeah,
he's definitely one that I'll be looking at picking up.
Yeah, I agree. Newcastle, even though they are a bit more attacking, they're not exactly goals. They're not full of goal scorers, are they? So you can see like save points and bonus being on the table for Sanchez. Yeah,
they get goals from a certain couple of players. Wilson, Ted Max.
Yeah, and if they're not in the races, then
they're the only boys that are going to put anything for them.
Yeah, agreed.
Which I haven't been for a few years.
No, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that's a good pick. He'd be my number one choice if he's free. Of the players that are likely to be free this week, he'd certainly be number one choice. The other choice I'd go for, if you're in a slightly bigger league, would be Fernandez of Brentford. Raya's out long term with a knee injury, so he's not going to be playing for them. So Fernandez is the next best option. Norwich at home, great fixture. Brentford looked a bit worse against Burnley at the weekend, but I think they'll turn it around, to be honest. And this is the fixture you want if you're trying to turn something around, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel Fernandez has just sort of been drafted into this position. It seems like he's like, I think he's like number 5 behind even Sanchez of the Spanish keepers. He seems to be well thought of over Spain. He's very young lad. It wasn't expected to be drafted in so early in the league, and now he's going to be their keeper for quite a while now. So it'd be interesting to see what comes of him. Yeah,
definitely. I'm interested to see how good he is because, like you say, he's quite highly thought of, but no one's really seen anything of him. Cool. Okay, then defenders. 3 picks for you today. First up, I think is the probably the best 1 week punt, maybe the best 1 week punt on the whole list, to be honest, which I think is Tavares. Watford at home for Arsenal this week. I don't see any way he doesn't start at left back. The quote from Arteta on Kieran Tierney was, "We need him back, and I don't know when that will be." And knowing Tierney's injury record, that will probably be at least sort of a month, I would have thought. So you're probably going to get a decent spell out of Tavares. We do like to attack down that left-hand side, and he likes to get forward. So, and we look pretty decent defensively. So yeah, I just think it's just such an easy pick. I think if you're anywhere near the top of the waivers, I think just take him now. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, he picked up his first clean sheet this weekend. Started the last couple of games due to Tierney's injury, so he's going to be in. It's another one like Fernandez. He's going to be in for as soon as Tierney's back. He's going to be out of the team, but his 1 week punt definitely for this week up to the international break. See how Tierney's injury is after that, but. Yeah,
agreed. I've got Tierney in our league, and I would if you own Tierney, it's no brainer because only one of them's going to play. So I'm hoping to get him this week. So then I can have him and Tierney, and then whoever plays, I get the points of. So that's my plan for the week. Okay, next up, who are you talking about, Dave?
Young Gahey. If you pronounce it that way.
I think so, yeah. I think that's what I'll go for.
He's played every game so far this season for Palace. He's been absolutely solid for him. Back off a clean sheet of it against Man City. I think the the Palace Wolves game could well be quite a low scoring game as well. So you could see a clean sheet coming there. I think he's coming out of that line of Chelsea players that they've brought through their academy, along the likes of Broja and Limerento that Southampton have got. He looks the part. He does. He's not going to be at Palace for the future. He's going to be a big player for the future. And I've got pretty much most of the players on this waiver list this week. Most of them are free in our league, and I've got the majority of them in my list for Tuesday morning.
I'll let you in a secret. Normally, I try and pick players that are gone in our league, so it doesn't impact my waiver plans. But this week, I really struggled to look past the players. I thought I can't just not put them on the list just because they're free in our league. But yeah,
there's a few tough fixtures this week to find 1 week pickups. I think.
Yeah, definitely.
They're all gone. All the good players.
Yeah, exactly. The last defender we're going to talk about is maybe sort of more of a mid to long term pickup. I think now's the time to get him, and that is Tariq Lamptey, Brighton. He's come off the bench the last two after a long injury absence, and I think now is the time he'll probably start starting again. So I think it's a good time to pick him up. Because once he starts, he's very attacking, very exciting player. So, I definitely think now's the time to get him. And they've got Newcastle at home this week. So if he does start, it looks like a nailed-on clean sheet. Well, maybe not nailed on, but it definitely looks like a clean possibility.
Yeah, I think it's all dependent on Veltman now because he's played pretty much every game. I don't know if it's going to be Veltman or Duffy that drops out of that defence, but if you've already got Veltman in your team, there's another one with sort of the tourney cover. If you pick up Lamptey will play long term going forward. He's an outstanding little player. It's just a matter of when he starts, and if he starts this weekend and he's still on the waivers, he'll get picked up the following week because someone knows he's going to start playing. But if you can get him just that week before. Even if he starts on the bench again and he comes back in the international duty, you've got him in the team because he's definitely a long-term hold.
Okay, then on to midfielders. Start with you, Dave. Talk about Leandro Trossard. What do you think about him this week? Newcastle at home, good fixture.
Yeah, there's not many better out there, to be honest. Home fixtures. We always like to see the H in a capital letter. Newcastle. Terribly defensively, and Trossard can play sort of anywhere in that sort of front three region as well with Brighton. He's sort of undroppable as well. He seems to play every game. I don't quite understand the Mopai benched against Liverpool this weekend. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's any rotation going involved there, but I think he could get himself a bag for. He got a goal against Liverpool. He could back off of that now. A bit of confidence. You could get a couple good, decent haul against Newcastle. Like I say, there's not many easier fixtures this season.
Yeah, I completely agree. I do think it's Graham Potter just has this knack of putting out weird lineups, doesn't he? He does it all the time. But it does seem like Trossard is the one that always plays. So that's a good sign. I just think he's dangerous. I mean, in bigger leagues, he will probably be gone already. But in smaller leagues, he's the kind of player that could be free and you'll probably haul this week. Okay, then next up, one of my players I seem to talk about all the time because I think he's very underrated. And that's Vitaly Janelt for Brentford. Brentford had a bit of an off week against Burnley this week, but I could see him and Mbeumo were both on the bench, both coming back from sort of a little injury. But I can see them both coming back in the lineup against Norwich, especially as they didn't play so well last weekend. So yeah, I can see them both coming in, and it's a dream fixture for them both. Janelt, just sort of an all-round good player, pretty good at everything. And yeah, I see him having a great week against Norwich. And like I said, no, he's not going to be picked in any leagues. So no matter how big your league is, well, unless you're in our league, because I've got him, but he's like so under the radar because it's just like, who's going to even think of having him? So yeah, I think he's a really good pickup this week, to be honest. He probably won't play now, but I'm pretty certain he'll come back into the lineup because he looked really good before.
Yeah, he'll come back in. I think Brentford did have an off game. I hope it's not the fact that Ray is injured. I don't know. I know they had. And Bemo and Janelt didn't play, but I really hope it's not because the goalkeeper's injured, because Brentford have been, and they have struggled without Janelt the last few weeks. You know, they've lost the last 3 now, I think, Brentford, and they seem to. I hope they haven't been found out. You know, I don't know if teams have sort of found them out and they're starting to drag their heels a little bit. But with him back in the side, it could make a big difference, especially if there's no better team than Burnley at home as well. Norwich at home.
I think you're right. The thing, I mean, we said it. I mean, we did the waiver video last week, and we called that that Burnley at home is a bit of a trap fixture for Brentford. We tipped. We tipped Burnley defenders even because we kind of thought that it's the kind of fixture that Burnley do well in, and Brentford might struggle. I think Norwich is a different kettle of fish though, because Norwich do leave space, which Brentford can exploit, which Burnley don't. So I don't think it's the same kind of fixture, even though they're both kind of not great teams. Okay, then moving on to the final midfield pick, you are looking at maybe the benefactor of an injury crisis at Liverpool this week.
Yeah, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. I mean, Keita suddenly back to fitness from last week's tackle from Paul Pogba, straight in the team, and he gets injured again. So and he gets an assist as well. So I'd like to see this being as an opportunity to get some more minutes, because he doesn't get enough minutes through a season. You know, he's a very, very decent player, but he just seems to be used as a squad player and doesn't get enough minutes. But this could be his chance now. Like I say, he got an assist on the weekend.
There's a great ball from Mane as well. It's a lovely, lovely ball.
Yeah,
he loves them sort of chipped through balls, doesn't he? It's a nice ball.
Yeah, and I think he can get goals from midfield. You know, he can push forward. The boys at front give him so much space. I think if he gets a good run on the side, I think he did it a couple of years ago. He had a decent run, and he was banging some goals in. So it could come again. I do think he's going to at least see out to the international break. Is it the Champions League this week?
Yes.
I'm not sure. Yeah, and then there's obviously 1 week, and then there's international break. So he's going to play the next couple of games, and then it's definitely for your 1 weekend, for your weekend.
Yeah, agreed. I just think everyone knows that he's skilled. You know, he's talented. It's sort of the rest of his game that's sometimes lacking. But yeah, I think he's a good pick this week. Okay, then on to forwards. We'll start off with one of your favourites, Dave. Che Adams. What do you think?
Yeah, big Chele. Had a bit of a funny start to the season, and then he got dropped. He did get a couple of assists early on. Got dropped, then he managed to score against Chelsea, and it sort of picked his form up a little bit more. Scored a quality goal against Watford, and it seems to be now he's going to be the he's sort of back into the team, back into a little bit of form. And against Villa at home, after conceding 4 against West Ham at home, it's not a bad fixture to come into. He could get a decent return. You know, he could put his things up with Danny Ings as well potentially. So, you know, he could.
Yeah, I think Che Adams is a good pickup this week. He looks like he's got the starting role nailed down, especially with Brozier sort of picking up that injury and Adam Armstrong not really impressing. He looks like the one that's actually going to get on the end of chances. You know, Villa look awful at the back. He got the red card today. Konsa, he's not going to be available. So he's a good defender as well. So yeah, I can see goals in that game for sure. And Che is the one that looks like he'll be on the score sheet. So I think if he's free, especially in the sort of lucrative forward position, it's a no-brainer.
2 goals in 2. I think he could continue that form.
Yeah, completely agree. Okay, then last pick of the week. We're going to go for Daka of Leicester. Bit of a punt. This really, bit of a wild card. Someone may have already picked him up in your league as sort of an insurance policy. But I do think his time is probably going to come pretty soon because Leicester just can't get the results at the moment. Another game with no goals against Arsenal, and they just didn't. They created some chances, but they just couldn't finish. Iheanacho went off at half time. Vardy didn't really do much. It looks like it's got to be Daka's time shortly. I mean, he obviously scored 4 goals in Europe the other week. I think it's got to be almost his time to come in. Dave, what do you think about Daka?
Like you said, his time could well come to start getting that starting role. It's just who they're going to drop. It looks like it's going to be Iheanacho, but as soon as he started back in the team, he started doing well. They won 2 games on the bounce, so it's a big ask of him. But he looks the part. Once he starts, I think he may start. Getting more frequent starts after that.
Yeah, completely agree. I think he looks like a talented player, doesn't he? Okay, then that wraps up our picks for this week. Dave, thank you very much for joining me today. If you like the video, please hit the subscribe button to see more content. We've got the podcast this week's going to be a bit later in the week, thanks to my annoying work schedule. So it probably won't be released till Thursday. So you're going to have to make sure you're on it to watch the pod before the Friday night kickoff. Thanks for coming on, Dave, and we will see you next time.
No worries. Thank you. See you later.